Hey guys, I hope you're doing really well. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my trip to Istanbul, Turkey. So I'm currently posting all of my vlogs from Istanbul. However, it has been a month or two since I was there. I went by myself. It was a solo trip. It was my first time ever visiting Turkey. And if you're familiar with my channel, you know that I travel a lot. I travel alone a lot, but this trip made me a bit nervous. I was planning it for a while. I've always wanted to go, but I kind of put it off. And I think what made me nervous about it is that usually I travel to Latin American countries or Spanish-speaking countries, and I do speak Spanish. I also blend in there, so I feel a bit more comfortable, but I'm not familiar with the Turkish language. Turkish is very hard if you don't speak it. At least it was for me. Not too many people spoke English like I was suspecting, but yeah, I think that's what probably made it harder for me to really plan and like feel comfortable. But once I arrived and I started walking around and meeting people, I felt amazing. I fell in love literally as soon as I arrived. The next day I decided I was going to extend my trip by a few days and spend some more time in Istanbul because the city is so big and there's so much to do and see, and I wanted to really absorb it all and not rush through the city. So in this video, I want to explain where I went, where you should go, give you a bit of a guide and what you should expect and things to know before you arrive in Istanbul. So upon arrival in Istanbul, you are going to need a visa. You can get a visa prior to arriving in Istanbul if you are American or Canadian. I think for many other nationalities as well, you might even need to get a visa for some nationalities. However, when you arrive, you can go to the visa counter and do this before you enter the immigration line, and they can put the visa physically into your passport. You will need space in your passport for them to stick the sticker. For Americans, I think I paid $20 US. For Canadians, I think it was $30 US. So the visa price does vary depending on which country your passport is from. So be aware of that. But you are able to get the visa upon arrival, and make sure you do it before you enter the immigration line. So I took a taxi from the airport. You can also take a bus. I don't have more information on the bus. I can probably leave a link to the bus in the description. The taxi was around 30 euros. The bus, I think, is around $3. So that is a very good option, especially if you are traveling with someone else, you don't have a lot of luggage and it's daytime. I personally arrived at nighttime and I was alone, so I took a taxi. I was also kind of tired. I know it's more comfortable, but I took a taxi to Taksim, which is the area that I stayed in. So Taksim is kind of like the hipster, older area. It is traditional Turkey. It looks like Aladdin. It is beautiful, and I am so glad that I stayed there. The roads are small. Taxis do have trouble getting into Taksim. However, there is a main road or a bigger road where you can walk to get taxis. However, if you have a lot of luggage, be cautious of that because you will have to be dragging your luggage or carrying it on cobblestone streets that are hilly. So that is something to be cautious about. So there's some neighborhoods in Istanbul and I want to talk about them. So of course there's Taksim, there is Karaköy, which is near the Bosphorus. The Bosphorus is where the water is in Istanbul, and I actually stayed there for a few days as well at the JW Marriott Bosphorus. It was really beautiful. It actually is where the fisherman's town, like it felt like a fisherman's port. You walk by the water, they have some restaurants and things to do. There's also a hammam called, like, I butcher all the Turkish words, but I'm gonna write it right here. It's the Kili Ali Pasha Hammam, and I actually have a separate video on my experience there. It was incredible. I highly recommend going there for a hammam. I'm very into doing self-care and trying out self-care rituals from different cultures when I'm traveling, so that was a great experience. And then there is different neighborhoods. There's Nişantaşı, there is Bebek, which is around 20 to 30 minutes away from the center of Istanbul, but that is a more affluent area, very beautiful. My friend said to try the bebek waffle if you go there, and that area also has a nice nightlife, I've heard. Nişantaşı is called the Rodeo Drive of Istanbul. If you aren't familiar, Istanbul has beautiful fashion. It was the Ottoman Empire. It was the center basically of the Silk Road, the trading route. So of course, all of the designs and materials and goods pass through this area. So they have a very beautiful, rich culture, architecture, interior design, textiles, clothing, all of that. So if you want to do some shopping, definitely check out Nişantaşı. And then there is also a really, really big mall, which I didn't personally go to. I will write the name of it right here because I forgot. That's also a great place to shop. Taksim is a good place to shop for souvenirs and things. Just be aware that it's going to be a little bit more pricey because it is a touristy area. And speaking of shopping, you can also go to the Grand Bazaar. That place is massive. Whatever you want, they probably have it. Spices, food, everything. So you can also check that out. So the currency in Turkey is the Turkish lira, and when I was there, around $1 equaled 16 Turkish lira. I just checked right now on my phone, and $1 is equal to almost 18 Turkish lira. So Turkey, like many countries, really is going through a lot with their inflation right now. As an American coming with US dollars, it was quite cheap for me, but do be aware that that is not the case for people who are living in Turkey. While everything was very cheap for me and very affordable, I do know that the people there have to work very hard for very little, so I'm extra careful to tip more when I can. If I'm going out to eat, if I'm getting a coffee, if I see someone who needs help, I was sure to help them out, and also not flaunt that you have money. Of course, most people know that when they're traveling. But I do have to admit it was nice traveling there because I didn't have to spend too much to get nice things or go to nice places. And I did go to a couple really, really amazing restaurants. One of them was called Yeni Lokanta. I show it in one of my other vlogs. And another one was called Hodan, which was amazing. But there are so many incredible restaurants. Of course, there's that guy, the Salt Bay guy. He has restaurants all over the city. He is from Turkey, so definitely check that out as well. Another place or another thing to try is meatballs in Sultanahmet. They have really good meatballs, traditional Turkish meatballs, I guess. You can find that in that area if you just search up kebab or kofta. Turkish ice cream, baklava, Turkish delights. I had my fair share. And of course, I share all this stuff in my other vlogs that you can check out to see where I went. Let's talk about transportation. So I took Ubers, taxis, there's also a tram, there is a metro system. I didn't really take the metro system, but I did take the tram. You can get a little card from the machine right by it. I put 100 Turkish lira on the card, however, I didn't even use it all. Taxis were quite affordable. They will charge you extra if they know that you're a tourist. My friend who's from Istanbul said, if you get in a taxi, tell them that you moved to Turkey, to Istanbul, and you are living in Taksim. That way, they won't think that you're a tourist, and they will probably charge you a more fair rate, so keep that in mind. As for where you should stay, I personally love staying in Taksim. However, if you're only going to be in Istanbul for a few days and you want to see the tourist attractions or go sightseeing, where the mosques are, where the Topkapi Palace is, the Grand Bazaar, all of that, I suggest that you stay in Sultanahmet. It might be a little bit more pricey than staying in Taksim or other areas, but you will be able to walk everywhere. Everything is basically within walking distance in the old town, and it's super beautiful, so you can definitely check out hotels or accommodations over there. I also stayed in an Airbnb and a hotel, so those are two options. So yeah, this is kind of my guide for Istanbul. I fell in love with the city. I definitely need to go back. I hope to go back with a friend or more people because I think it'll be really fun to explore more of it. When I was there, I made a really good friend who was living in Istanbul for a few years. We actually did a photo shoot together. He's an incredible photographer. His name's Alan. Hi Alan, if you're watching this. And for the most part, I felt very safe. Of course, if you're traveling alone as a woman, take those precautions. Don't go out at night by yourself. If you are going out at night, don't walk through the alleys. Take taxis. Be aware of your surroundings. Try and talk to people who are nearby, whether you're staying at a hotel or you're staying in an Airbnb. Make sure you keep in contact with your host, ask them where to go, where not to go, and just be very cautious and careful. I want to add, I got a SIM card while I was there. My data was working, but not too well, so I did go get a SIM card. It was, I think, $20 for 30 gigabytes or something. It was super easy. You can just go to any store that sells like cell phone cases or things like that. They usually sell SIM cards, or just ask around. Also, I did not drink the water in Istanbul. I was buying bottled water. I don't think you can drink the water. I will write it here if you can or can't. Yeah, if you have any more questions about Istanbul, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to answer them. Let me know if you've gone to Istanbul, if you're planning to go there, if you've gone alone, if you solo travel, let me know, because I love meeting other solo travelers as well. But I hope you found this video super helpful. Be sure to follow me on TikTok and Instagram. I will have a full written guide posted to my Instagram, and I have a lot more TikToks about Istanbul, places to go, and all of that there as well. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a big thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.